The following is a paid program brought to you by Mark Evans Media, LLC.
If you focus on these things, then it'll make great improvement in your relationship.
You gotta know why you're standing at the plate. I'm amazed by the number of people who get distracted in life.
The tangible results that we saw, I felt like were immediate.
Every week, how do you get ready to make sure you make the most of your life?
He's very good at helping you through life in general.
Mark Evans offers practical biblical solutions for the problems and pressures in life.
Maybe it's not so much about changing jobs, it might be about making changes in you. I was at Wrigley Field this past season watching the Cubs play, and I caught this baseball. One of the Wrigley Field old-timers was sitting next to me. He looked at me and he said, "You know, I can tell you something about that baseball." I said, "What's that?" He said, "It has a 3-pitch lifespan." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "The average Major League Baseball has a 3-pitch lifespan, meaning it's going to stay in a game for, on an average, 3 pitches before it's fouled out, hit out of the park, or the umpire throws the ball out of the game." I thought, that's a lot like our life. Basically, you and I, we got 3 pitches, meaning this. It comes down to our dreams. What is it that we really want to do with our life? One of the best times in my life are when I sit down at the beginning of a year, the beginning of a month, and write out in a notebook, here are my dreams. Here are the things I want to do. Here are the things I want to accomplish. And a lot of them are big dreams, and some of them are simply small dreams. And then I make some decisions. I make some decisions about, all right, how am I going to actually see some of these dreams come true? And that takes some thinking, and it takes me some planning, and really takes several days of just thinking through my dreams. And then comes the hard part. I've got to set some deadlines, meaning this. I've got to say, all right, I'm going to accomplish these things by a certain date. Because what I know for me is this. It gives me a stopping point. It gives me a finish line. And it helps me to know this is what I need to do to get to that point. And when you think of life like that you got those 3 pitches, your dreams, your decisions, and your deadlines, it really will help you to win at life.
Mark Evans has helped thousands of people be able to move to a more satisfying place personally, spiritually, and professionally. Now is your chance to place your life in a more positive direction. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com to take advantage of Mark's special TV offer. Get Mark Evans' full book, Win at Life Wisdom, 30 Days of Passion, Priority, and Purpose for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, normally $49.95. Also check out his books, audio CDs, and DVDs. Finally, here are the tools to change your life for the better. Now let's recap. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for Mark's special TV offer. Download Mark Evans' entire book, Win at Life Wisdom, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, plus free shipping. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for details or call 1-800-367-2870.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are having a great day. Today we're asking the question, how can I change my thinking? Changing your thinking is so important to you leading your life and getting the most out of your life. One of the Lead My Life lessons, I call them, that's so important is this. You don't know what you don't know. Just let that sink in for a minute. You don't know what you don't know. That's why changing your thinking is so important. In the Bible, in Romans, Paul says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." So basically what Paul's teaching us is if you want to change your life, you got to change your mind. Changing how you think, changing how you approach your life is all going to begin in your head, in your mind. So today, I want to help you in a very practical way. Listen to this.
Mark Evans has helped thousands of people be able to move to a more satisfying place personally, spiritually, and professionally. Now is your chance to place your life in a more positive direction. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com to take advantage of Mark's special TV offer. Get Mark Evans' full book, Win at Life Wisdom, 30 Days of Passion, Priority, and Purpose, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, normally $49.95. Also check out his books, audio CDs, and DVDs. Finally, here are the tools to change your life for the better. Now let's recap. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for Mark's special TV offer. Download Mark Evans' entire book, Win at Life Wisdom, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, plus free shipping. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for details or call 1-800-367-2870.
My mind is a steering wheel. It determines my direction. My mind is a steering wheel. It determines my direction. I want to use that illustration of steering wheel because you transform your life by the way you turn your mind. Just like a steering wheel in your car turns the car. You see, your life is transformed by how you turn your mind. It's not an accident. I love one of my favorite preachers that I listen to. I love the way he says this. It's not an accident that you came into this world head first, okay? It's not an accident. Because everything in your life starts in your mind. Secondly, this is important because my mind is a thermostat. It reveals my reality. My mind is a thermostat. It reveals my reality. It doesn't matter what is in your body. Your mind is your reality. Remember, one of the Lead My Life lessons in this series a couple of weeks ago was, I can't see it when I'm in it. It's because you haven't changed your thinking. And when you refuse to change your thinking, your reality is all messed up. See, your mind is a thermostat, and it sets the temperature for your life. Number 3, my mind is a map. It prioritizes my path. My mind is a map. It prioritizes my path. So my mind's a steering wheel. It's going to direct me. It's a thermostat. It's going to show me what is reality. And it's a map. It is going to prioritize my path. Please turn your notes back over to the front, okay? Right. Look at verse 2 again, okay? Look at the second part of it. Right? Transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove. This is really important. Underline that you may prove. What is that good and acceptable and, underline this, perfect will of God? That you may prove. My mind is a map. It prioritizes my path because remember, I want to be on the path that God has for me. So what the Bible is telling us right there, that you may prove the perfect will of God. God's word is saying, I want your life to prove. I want your life to prove what God had in mind when He created me. Listen to that. I want my life to prove what God had in mind when He created me. Wow. God wants us to understand that our thinking has to be changed because He wants our life to prove what He had in mind when He created us. See, your mind keeps you on God's path for you, that God is drawing out what He put in you. He is forever going deep within you into the soul of who you are, pulling out of you the seeds that He has planted in you. In Philippians 4:8, look what the Bible says. Paul is writing to the Philippians, and he says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true. Circle true there. Whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Think about such things. So what are you thinking about you? What are you thinking about your life? Look at how many times Paul says whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different times. Because Paul wants the Philippians to understand, do whatever it takes to think. Whatever it takes to think. When Paul writes to the Philippians, we've just started studying this, the book of Philippians in my men's Bible study I teach on Wednesday mornings. We've just kicked it off. And I was just telling about them this, I think, about a week ago. When Paul writes Philippians, it is a church that he is returning to after 10 years. He had just been with them 10 years ago. So they're so happy to hear from Paul and just hear from him. They're undergoing tremendous persecution. And they're dealing with deep, deep poverty. And so Paul here in the last part of this letter, when he says finally, he says, look, y'all, I know life is hard. It's beyond bearable a lot of times. But you got to change what you think about. He said, you got to hold on to the things that are good. You've got to think differently. You know, so I tell you that part to say this, that in your life, whatever is difficult, you have got to make sure that your mind is renovated. Your thinking is changed. And you've got to make sure, like Paul writes in Philippians 4:8, that these details that he says, these descriptive words, lovely, pure, excellent, true, that those are the things you spend mind energy on. So how are you going to do that? Well, let me give you 3 things I think are really practical that'll help you. One is this: you got to learn continually. You've got to, number one, learn continually. And I think you can make a note beside that and just ask yourself, what can I learn daily? What can I learn daily? And just look at your life that way. All right, what can I learn daily? Because if I will decide here is somehow something I am going to work toward to learn something about daily, it helps me tremendously. I've done this a number of years since I've been a pastor, but I'm doing it again this year. It's one of my New Year's decisions, is to read a book a week. So this year I'm going to read at least 52 books. I'm going to read 1 book a week at least. And so far I'm doing good at that. But why that helps me is because it makes me make sure that I am learning something all the time. I tell you that to say, find something that works for you to make sure that you are learning all the time. Here's the key to that. You've got to put good things in your mind, okay? You've got to put good things in your mind. The first line of verse 8, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true. Now, Paul is saying what God has put in you, what is true about you. Hold on to that. What is true about you, allow God to draw that out of you. Let's go back to what we learned from Moses in the first message in this series, that God is always drawing something out of you. Allow God to do that. Because when God is drawing out of you, it's the very core of who you are. It's the very center of who you are. And you are then at this point allowing God to draw out of you the seeds that He has planted in you. Now, you know, every one of us in here, God has planted gifts, talents, abilities in us that He wants to use. And so this first point is you've got to feed what God has put in you. And it's a mind deal. You got to feed it. Learn continually, okay? Now remember, the prodigal son, he changed his life when he changed his mind. And secondly, you've got to listen. Number 2, listen intentionally. Listen intentionally. Who you listen to impacts how you're going to think. Who you listen to impacts how you're going to think. Let's look at this list again. Noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable. Now, look at that list in Philippians 4:8. Noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable. Do the people you listen to reflect those characteristics? Noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable. Here's the key. Place yourself around the right people. If you're going to listen intentionally, you've got to place yourself around the right people because you're listening to them. They are voices in your life. You want to know, are you listening to the right people? Then look at who you spend the most time with. Just look at who you spend the most time with. Because the people you spend the most time with say everything about you. I don't even have to know you. But if you will give me your cell phone and let me have access to your Facebook account, I can tell you everything in the world about you. Yeah. You say, you think for yourself. Just think for your own life. All right. The people I communicate with, are they the right people in my life? Place the right people in your life. Listen to the right people in your life. Because they are going to be key in the seeds that God has planted in you, whether or not it's going to grow. That is so going to be key. Thirdly, live completely. Thirdly, you got to live completely. You can lead your life any way you want. You can lead your life any way you want, but you can lead it only once. I want to challenge you to think through your life. Invest in living out wise thoughts. Paul is telling these Philippians, now this is how you should think. Because how you think is going to affect how you live. Because your thoughts are going to come out in actions. Here's the key. Process good thoughts into action. Just process good thoughts into action. Because your life has an expiration date. It does. So act on those thoughts that God has put in your mind. You've got to change your thinking. A couple months ago, I was at Little Rock Airport, and after I checked in and got through all the security, I went to my gate. I was at the end of the airport and wanted to find a place where I can return some phone calls to some people at church. So I wanted to get away from people. There's a back section corner down at that end where there were probably in that corner, there were probably 50 empty seats, literally, all around that corner, okay? So I go in that corner, wall, sit down at a chair with a wall behind me, start returning a few phone calls, and a gentleman starts walking over that way. He's obviously a business guy. He's headed somewhere. He's dressed in a suit. He comes walking over that way, and he sits 2 seats down from me. okay? And so he sits down and he starts getting settled in, and then he takes out an apple and he starts eating the apple, okay? He starts eating this apple, and y'all, one thing that grates on my nerves more than anything, okay, is the sound of somebody chewing food. I can't stand it, okay? Eating chips. I don't want to hear you eating chips. I don't want to hear you eating ice. I sure don't want to hear you eating an apple. My family knows this. They don't care, okay? But it just drives me nuts. So he's there, and he is eating it, and I'm looking at him. I'm giving him the most significant Hulk look I can imaginable, okay? He could care less. He's eating, and he's taking big bites out of it, and he's a studier of his apple, okay? And so as he's eating it, he is studying, he's working around the apple. He does not care that it's dripping on his tie and stuff. He doesn't care, you know? After he eats all the way around it, then he starts working on the corner sections, okay? So I am thinking, all right, I'm just watching him at this point. I'm not trying to be, careful about it. I'm just watching him. Like, really. He's eating on the corners of it, and I'm figuring, okay, I've got 8 bites left. I'm counting them. I'm so irritated. He goes through, and then so all edges, both sides are all done, okay? He then he's down to the core of it. He then starts dissecting it, and then he starts nibbling into the core of it, and he is just getting every little bit possible out of this, to the point that the seeds are dropping on him, okay? It's disgusting. I tell you that story because that apple's a lot like you and me, isn't it? It's a great metaphor for our lives. Because you work through the peeling of us, the outside of us, you get one perspective. Then you get through the meat of that apple, and it's a whole different of what's on the inside. But then you get to our core. And the real story is told, though, in the seeds that God has planted in you. But the real you is never going to come out until you allow God to renovate your thinking.
Mark Evans has helped thousands of people be able to move to a more satisfying place personally, spiritually, and professionally. Now is your chance to place your life in a more positive direction. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com to take advantage of Mark's special TV offer. Get Mark Evans' full book, Win at Life Wisdom, 30 Days of Passion, Priority, and Purpose, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, normally $49.95. Also check out his books, audio CDs, and DVDs. Finally, here are the tools to change your life for the better. Now let's recap. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for Mark's special TV offer. Download Mark Evans' entire book, Win at Life Wisdom, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, plus free shipping. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for details or call 1-800-367-2870.
Well, I hope that you've learned some things. It's so important that to live a life of changed thinking, that you know what to do, that you allow your mind to really think good thoughts. Remember, you got to learn continually. When I learn continually, I am going to work at putting good things in my mind. But you also have to listen intentionally. You've got to make sure that you're placing yourself around the right people and you're listening to the right people. Because you know, the people that you listen to, they impact you greatly. And so if you want to have a mind that is changed, you got to listen to the right people. And you've got to live completely. When I say live completely, I mean process good thoughts into action. You see, your life right now has an expiration date on it. I know we don't like to think about that, but it's true. All of us only have just so much time that we're put on this planet. So your life does have an expiration date. So you've got to take all the thoughts, the good thoughts that God has put into you, and put them into action. Because your life is really going to be defined and determined by how you lived your life, the things that you did with the thoughts that God put into your mind. Because God really does want to do everything that He planned for you to do in your life and through you. But you got to let Him. So live a life of change thinking.
Mark Evans has helped thousands of people be able to move to a more satisfying place personally, spiritually, and professionally. Now is your chance to place your life in a more positive direction. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com to take advantage of Mark's special TV offer. Get Mark Evans' full book, Win at Life Wisdom, 30 Days of Passion, Priority, and Purpose, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, normally $49.95. Also check out his books, audio CDs, and DVDs. Finally, here are the tools to change your life for the better. Now let's recap. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for Mark's special TV offer. Download Mark Evans' entire book, Win at Life Wisdom, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, plus free shipping. Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for details or call 1-800-367-2870.
I'm Pastor Mark Evans. I want to invite you to the church at Rock Creek. If you live here in Central Arkansas, come on and be a part of one of our worship services. We have weekend services Sundays at 9, 10:45, and 12:30, and Monday night at 7. Our mission statement is simple. Take Jesus as He is to people as they are. We want to help you to learn the Bible in a very practical way, help you to live the life that God's called you to live. Come see us.
Visit PastorMarkEvans.com for Mark's special TV offer. Download Mark Evans' entire book, Win at Life Wisdom, 30 Days of Passion, Priority, and Purpose, for only $10. Receive Part 1 of Mark Evans' Passion DVD series for only $15, normally $49.95, plus free shipping. Or download it to watch right away. For more books, audio CDs, DVDs, visit PastorMarkEvans.com or call 1-800-367-2870.
I think anybody could get help from Mark Evans. I think that if you're not working towards improving your relationship, then you are losing ground.
I guess the biggest thing Mark's done for me is given me the critical thinking process for business and personal life to make life easier.
Mark Evans is produced by Ron Sherman Productions. That's RonShermanProductions.com. The proceeding was a paid program brought to you by Mark Evans Media, LLC.